Kiwi.
Hello, I'm Lindsay.
Hi, I'm Adele.
And I'm Sinead.
And we are Bewitched. So here it goes.
Do what you want. Do what you really want.
Everything's happening so fast.
We fulfilled so many ambitions in the last 6 months.
We just can't believe the success we've had, and we just never expected that.
They're having fun, they're young, and they're not ashamed to say that this is a good laugh.
Absolutely having a ball.
And they're enjoying the whole roller coaster ride while it goes on.
So keep watching because you'll enjoy it.
They're fizzier than a vat of soda pop and bubblier than a witch's brew. And since hitting the charts in 1998 with their debut single C'est la vie, Bewitched have single-handedly breathed fresh life into the world of pop.
It's really exciting. Get to see the world so quickly.
From Ireland to Australia, the group have scored a string of #1 hits, and their bouncy tunes, charming personalities, and energetic dance routines have made them one of the most popular girl bands around.
We've been zipping everywhere in Europe, and we're going to America and Australia and New Zealand and Japan.
Adele, Kiwi, Lindsay and Sinead came together through several twists of fate. As soon as they met, they knew that their destinies were linked, and it wasn't long before the four became known as the pop sensation Bewitched. Since then, they have earned themselves a place in the Guinness Book of Records, becoming the first ever pop group to have had their first 4 singles go straight to #1. What an achievement! In the words of Bewitched, it's a dream come true.
It's just a dream come true. It just really, really is.
You could definitely see that they had the talent and the potential.
It's something that we've all wanted, like as kids, is just to grow up and perform singing and dancing. Like,
It's pop music the way it should be.
Bewitched have done as much for Irish pop music as their predecessors, Boyzone. But being Irish isn't the only connection the girls have with the chart-topping boy band. Shane Lynch only happens to be Kiwi and Adele's big brother.
When you hear Bewitched on the radio or you see them on the television, it's brilliant. It's a great buzz. The hair and the back of your neck stands up. They went straight to the top of the charts with their first single, C'est la vie, which was so catchy, and suddenly everybody started talking about them. They always knew exactly what they wanted, and they knew it was hard work, and they knew what was involved, and I think that made the difference.
Bewitched combine hip-hop beats with Celtic rhythms, and the message in their music is live life to the full. Their distinctive musical style has helped them to sell over 2 million singles and 1.5 million albums. C'est la vie was even nominated for an Ivor Novello Songwriting Award.
They're original. They're not the same as the Spice Girls or any of the other girl bands out there. They're different. Here are 4 girls who have made it, and there's no reason if they can make it why you can't.
It's been the biggest rollercoaster ride of their lives, with each new single hitting that #1 spot every time.
#1 after #1.
Fresh-faced and full of beans, Adele, Kiwi, Lindsay and Sinead seem to have captivated audiences everywhere, adding to their ever-growing legion of fans.
We're going to be as
We can
famous
take it as far
can.
as we can. I mean, and I think we'll all be happy with that.
It's not really
you
the
know.
fame we're after.
It's just to, to do what you've always wanted to do.
Having a good time.
want us to do, yeah.
Having a good
exactly.
time and making other people happy is what we want to do. It's not the fame.
At all.
We love Bewitched!
They've got dances, so you can join in and they're really lively.
It gets everyone going, sort of. It puts everyone in a good mood.
Bewitched music is really like fun and bouncy and uplifting, and it makes you like dance in your bedroom
And you
along
can
to the
sing
radio.
along to it.
Yeah. We just have to listen to it all the time.
And like
Always
everybody
listen
likes
to it.
them.
Yeah.
Because they're so like
Fun.
Yeah, it's so cool. And poppy.
They've got some very loyal fans, I think, who will always buy their music.
they're quite young as well. It's not like there's a massive like age difference between them.
And they wear like the same sort of clothes that we might like go out wearing, like a pair of jeans and pedal pushers or
Yeah, and they're
something.
not too up themselves, they're just like normal people.
Yeah, they don't act big-headed or anything.
Yeah.
The success of Bewitched has been phenomenal. Within a couple of years, the girls have topped charts across the world. It seems like they're a million miles away from where they began, their Irish roots, and the dream that one day 4 best friends would be in a famous pop group together.
Because we've never come across like a manufactured band. The 4 of us are 4 best friends, and it always looks like that. Yeah. We have been from the start. That's the difference, because we know each other like inside out and we get on so well. So I don't think anybody actually looks at it that way at all.
They didn't audition, they didn't kind of rely on somebody else to put it all together for them. They were so young and they decided themselves this is what they were going to do.
I mean, people are obviously, when they see you first, they're obviously going to go, oh, here we go again, somebody put these together, but fair enough, they can judge that and they can say that, but you know, you have to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and you can't judge a book by its cover, so when they get to know us, they know that we're not like that.
And if they think that,
opinions change.
They've surpassed all their dreams in just a few years, and it's been down to a lot of hard work.
A typical day that fans may just see clips of later on television is one that may start at 7:30 in the morning and not end until midnight or later.
We've never been this busy in our lives.
You've got the mixture of travelling to concerts, rehearsing, performing, interviews with the media, photo sessions, and looking good the whole time. And they're away most of the time.
Boarding passes, airports, hotels and buses.
We've been in France, Germany, Italy, Holland,
Australia and Japan and
everywhere. We've been actually everywhere.
at the moment we've been in hotel rooms for the last 5 weeks nearly, so because you know we've been away and stuff as well. And now we're in London, we just seem to be in hotel rooms the whole time.
We're just working so much.
Yeah.
They're hard-working girls. That is the one thing that comes across. They've never worked harder in their lives. It's taken neck and it's taken a lot of guts for them to get where they are today.
Then one day, whilst on tour with boy band 911, they saw something in the audience that made it all worthwhile.
And there was one time we had a banner.
That was in Cardiff, the very first night. It was so exciting.
Yay, we have a banner.
We had a few banners towards
we
the end
did.
of the tour. We actually had about 4 banners through the whole tour. But our first one in Cardiff, we were just like screaming. It was like, Kiwi even said over the mic, "Hey, you over there with the banner! We love you!" It was like, yay.
And the crew were really nice, and everybody
And all
was
the
just,
bands that we met were just so
there.
nice.
The Bewitched story started long before the release of C'est La Vie. It started in Ireland, in Dublin, a city steeped in history, culture and music, a place which has inspired and created great bands like U2, The Cause and Boyzone. In a city with such an impressive pop heritage, young Dubliners have been encouraged to pursue their dreams of becoming artists. For the girls of Bewitched, Dublin took them under its wing and nurtured them. From learning to dance at the famous Diggs Lane studio, being given the chance to appear on a popular Irish TV show, and to being spotted by one of Ireland's premier managers, the close-knit nature of Dublin's music community helped the girls to go for their dreams.
The Irish angle is, I mean, Ireland really at the moment, Dublin in particularly, I think the angle is almost a Dublin angle. We have a history, you know, things are very quaint. Ireland is a small, lovely, green country, you know, known for its rock music, known for serious causes. And suddenly we're producing pop bands, we're producing really good-looking pop bands who sound really good. It's just where it's all happening, and that's terrific for young people at the moment because it takes them away from the idea that all they have to look forward to is a 9-to-5 job. It makes them feel that anything is possible here at the moment.
Dublin's mecca for modern pop music is without a doubt Diggs Lane Dance Studios. When Jacinta Ormond set up the studio 7 years ago, little did she know how its reputation would grow. The Bewitched girls first got together here, and Boyzone filmed their very first video on the roof of the building. Diggs Lane seems to attract all of Ireland's talent.
Diggs Lane has been running for about 7 years now, and its aims is to offer classes, dance classes, drama, singing to children of all ages, to encourage them to get involved in the arts and to take an interest in their talents and to kind of bring their talent out. Diggs Lane is really at this stage like the shrine for pop stars who want to hit the big stage. Every single band have moved through Diggs Lane. Members out of the band, Boyzone shot their first video on the roof of Diggs Lane. Bands and people like OTT, who were signed to Sony, they went to dance lessons there, and the girls were involved in it as well. It has a terrific reputation.
For Adele, Kiwi, Lindsay and Sinead, hanging out at Diggs Lane was their main preoccupation. And although they all knew each other to say hello to, none of them were aware that they were all harbouring the same ambitions. That was until a strange twist of fate brought them all together.
Bewitched story, I think it's very much one that could actually end up being made into a film. You've got 4 girls, and they've come together through, growing up singing and dancing.
Actually, all started out as dancers, and we all went to the same dance centre, dance studios, and we all kind of met there.
How did we get together? It's a long, long story.
We met in a place called Diggs Lane where we worked at home.
We all knew each other to say hello around the dance centre in Dublin. And then Kiwi used to be a trainee mechanic, believe it or not, as clean as she is now. And Sinead went in with her mother to get her car fixed, and they got chatting.
And we said we'd like to get into the studio and do something together.
And then Kiwi and Lindsay were in kickboxing together.
And one day when they were practicing in the studio, I was looking in through the window and I was like, oh, I want to join. So then they asked me to come in, and we just kind of were dancing around, and we just clicked that day, didn't we?
Yeah. Like, do you want to be in ours? We said, you're recording on Saturday and we're on telly next week. And she was like, huh? What? So we didn't actually audition, so we're all quite friendly between each other. We're all best buddies. Yay!
There were 4 friends. Friendship came first, and then the music came second to that. And I think that shows when you see the 4 girls together, because they're very at ease with each other. You don't get that with a manufactured band.
They seem like they're just a bunch of sisters, really. They get on really well.
Once the connection had been made, the girls began working hard to get new material together, writing songs and choreographing dance routines. As well as holding down jobs and college, the Fab Four rehearse their stuff at every given opportunity, even in their local park, St Stephen's Green, where people would stare in wonderment, unaware that they were watching the making of a #1 pop group. Then it was on to Diggs Lane for more work.
They worked part-time in Diggs Lane, but they had other jobs as well. And most nights, Monday to Friday, Diggs closed around 9:30 or 10 o'clock. But they'd be in there maybe till 12 or 1 or 2, practicing away and going through the routines and working really hard. Kiwi and Adele were very much into dancing and drama. Now, they were into the singing as well, but they were kind of focusing on the dancing and drama. Sinead was very classical. I thought Sinead was going to be the next ballerina, because she was very much into the ballet and the classical side. Lindsay was very quiet, very quiet. It's only starting to come out of her shell now. But the 4 of them kind of just got together and decided, right, we'll do this.
You gotta do what you wanna do. You gotta be.
Adele and Kiwi especially knew that to make it to the top required 100% dedication and commitment. Luckily, they had a big brother who could give them some sound advice, and he definitely knew what he was talking about.
Our brother's actually in Boyzone. It's Shane. So he's doing really successful. Hope we get there as well.
How's it going? I'm Shane.
Big brother, Shane, from Boyzone, shared his experiences of being in a chart-topping band, the tiring work, early mornings, late nights, and being away from home a lot. To get to their level of international success and huge record sales around the world, Boyzone had to do some hard grafting. But Shane's advice didn't put the girls off.
So he gives us the advice to keep our head down, and he wants us to understand how hard it is going to be. But I mean, we understand that already, and we're all raring to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't wait to get our feet off the ground.
Absolutely.
It didn't take long before the girls were discovered, and it happened one day whilst the foursome were busy rehearsing at Diggs Lane.
Well, we just got a phone call one day from RTE saying they were doing a Saturday morning programme and they wanted to do a day in the life. And it was a day in the life of someone going to Diggs Lane. And at the time, Bewitched were there, and Dove was there and Fab was there.
RTE Television, Irish Television came in and they seen us rehearse and they brought us onto their programme. And a guy on the programme knew our management now and they came over to see us and they signed us and brought us to Sony.
Their live performance on national Irish TV impressed some very important people, and within minutes a call came in from Boyzone's manager asking if the girls would support them on their next Irish tour.
I think that Shane has helped them quite a lot because everyone like always says, oh, your brother's Shane from Boyzone, isn't he? They always know them because of Shane, and Boyzone did actually like offer to have them on their tour. So I don't think that if they had been related, then Boyzone would have said straight away, "I'll come and tour with us." It would have been a lot harder for them to get into the industry, I think. But Shane has, obviously, he's helped them like get their foot in the door.
We did a concert with them. It was at Christmas time in Battersea Power Station in London, and it was really, really good. It was a good show.
Although initially it was great, I'm sure, for the band to have the Shane connection, and they certainly don't go behind the door and admitting that having Shane as a big brother was a great advantage, but it certainly hasn't opened an excessive amount of doors for them. They've had to do the legwork themselves, and that at the end of the day is the only thing that's going to get you through the door, putting the work in yourself instead of relying on other people.
Well, it helped in a sense that we knew what hard work was going to come to us, so we all were expecting that. But he gives us advice, like he just tells us not to get a fat head, but just to work hard. And no, he does. He tells us to work really hard, and it is quite handy to have him there, and we do love him. But he just, when people see how hard we work, you know, they automatically know it's not because we're Shane's sisters that we're doing this, and that's why we're in a band and stuff, because we do work really, really hard.
It was time now for the girls to leave their day jobs. Lindsay bid farewell to her friends at Julian's, where she'd worked as a shop assistant. Adele tidied her last shelf of trainers at Stadium Sports. Sinead said goodbye to her job at the Gate Theatre. And Kiwi put her overalls away and said bye to the car mechanic's job at her dad's garage. It was time to get serious. This meant lots of promotion and school tours.
Before C'est La Vie was released, we did like about 3 months promotion for that. We did under 18s nightclubs and school tours and stuff, so there's a lot like coming up to the release.
Take That even did it in the beginning. A lot of schools have been saying, we had Take That here in the beginning, so this is a lucky school, you'll do well.
It's like, because when we were in school, we never heard of any bands coming to any schools or anything. It was just like,
you still wouldn't get that in Ireland, I don't think.
It's great that the reaction is really, really good in schools.
It's good to do the schools because the kids tend to think that pop stars aren't real and you don't do human things so it's nice to get to meet the people that are going to support you and buy your singles. So it's really nice to be really close to them.
Their dreams of making it were only a record deal away. So when it came to meeting Sony Records managing director Rob Stringer, they had to find a way to impress him. Instead of performing for him, they arranged a tea party, complete with ice cream, jelly and sweets. It did the trick. He was hooked. After a long list of names like Desire, Sassy and Sister, the name Bewitched was picked for the girls by Sony record label boss Rob Stringer. On their first ever meeting, he said he found Adele, Kiwi, Lindsay and Sinead bewitching. And bewitched it was.
Bewitched.
Hi!
Hi, Bewitched.
Hi! Bewitched!
It suits them because they're very lively. They've got that they seem like they've got a certain magic about them. The way they're like so lively all the time and everything. So it does suit them.
It wasn't long before Bewitched were given a development deal by Sony Records, home to other acts like Tatiana Ali, M People and Manic Street Preachers. It was now time to prove what they had believed all along, that they could come up with brilliant songs. This meant moving to England and working 24/7.
We've been really busy for the past 3 or 4 months. We're going back to London tomorrow and we have to do promotions for our next single. We're going to go to America, Japan, New Zealand and Australia, which we're very looking forward to. We've loads and loads of work. We just had 5 days holidays, so we're after recharging ourselves for the next 4 months.
When the girls did move to England, they all moved into a house together just outside of London.
We moved to London just before Christmas, the four of us, and it was the first time we'd been away from home really, so we all moved into a house together.
Hi, we're Bewitched and you've come to our house.
We never lived away from our families before, so we looked after each other when we moved over.
Hi, I'm Sinead. I'm doing the washing up at the moment, so I can't stop for very long.
And this is my bedroom.
Did you get that? That was hilarious.
I love teddy bears, and this is my collection behind me that I've started since I got to England. Hi, I'm Kiwi, and this is my favourite pair of trousers at the moment. My little sister got them for me, so I just thought I'd share that with you. This teddy bear here is called Alfie, and he's our band mascot, and he comes everywhere with us. We love Alfie. Who's got the key?
Yeah, it's okay though. Okay, this is our kitchen and bathroom cleaning motor, and it's done every day when we all take turns.
Hello. Let's say hello to them.
Sorry.
And we use green sponge for the toilet and peach sponge for the bath, so it's very, very precise. Well, very good friends.
Living together and being in Bewitched brought the girls much closer. Even on their days off, they needed to be with each other.
If we ever have a day off and one of us isn't there, it doesn't feel right. We always spend our days off together and everything. Just like four sisters. Sinead went out with her friends one night and she got scared. She was like, oh, girls aren't here.
Even before being signed to Sony Records, Bewitched were writing their own songs. C'est la vie and To You I Belong were some of the first tracks they wrote.
We co-write our stuff. We write a lot of songs together and on our own. But our first single is co-written with our producer, and so is the B-side, and hopefully a lot of the stuff will be written by us.
When Bewitched initially started out, they wanted to recreate the look and sound of a rather famous 80s girl group.
A more modern version of kind of the Bangles and Wilson Phillips, but we want to keep, we'd like to have good classic melodic songs
with loads of harmony,
but with loads of harmonies and a very up to date, beat.
We're going to range through, things, but at the minute it's the Bangles and Wilson Phillips. It is a modern version of it, but I mean that's what we like because it's not going around at the minute, so it is different. And that's where we're going to be, is different.
Their wide range of musical influences, plus a traditional Irish background, has helped give Bewitched that unique sound.
We've got Irish music going through most of our songs, and it's on the album, and it's quite important to us really because it's like our individuality. So hopefully when people turn on the radio and hear pop music with Irish music, they'll think, oh, that must be Bewitched.
The Irish hip-hoppers also added something special to their music, and that was their energy and love of life. Hence the title of their debut single, C'est la vie.
It was something that we wanted to write for the summer, something that was young and fresh and lively, and when people heard it, they just wanted to get up and dance. And I think by going around to all the European countries and in England and that actually came across, because everybody seems to jump around and they seem to really, really enjoy it. So that was basically the idea behind C'est la vie.
C'est la vie went to #1, as did their next single, Roller Coaster.
We're quite confident with it. We like it. It's a good follow-up. It's a little bit more mid-tempo towards C'est la vie, and the Irish music is still there, and it's good to dance to as well. So.
And after that, as you all know, it was #1 after #1. By the time the Bewitched album came out at the end of 1998, the band knew that they had a top 10 selling record.
The album, it was actually quite a lot different to what I expected. I was expecting things along the same lines of C'est la vie and Roller Coaster, very poppy, very dancey.
There's a lot of different varieties on the album. There's some more pop music, and there's a few ballads, and there's a little bit of rock music on there as well. The Irish element is going through all of it, so we're quite happy with the album, so hopefully everyone else will be as well.
It's actually a very good album, I think. They've incorporated a lot of different styles of music and made them. They've put the Irish vibe through all of them. There's always like a Irish flute or something in the background. It just adds that little touch to it so that you know that it's Bewitched.
The Irish element into it, I think, just makes them that little bit different, and that's what you need to be successful. Just to have an edge on everyone else.
Hi, we're Bewitched and you're watching Top End.
Though life for the Fantastic Four is still as hectic as ever, becoming a chart-busting pop act has been one big adventure with lots of fun.
Since our single went to #1 in the UK, and like all the countries have wanted us to come to their territory and come and do promotion, so it's like we've been zipping everywhere in Europe, and we're going to America and Australia and New Zealand and Japan in October, so it's really exciting. Get to see the world so quickly.
Everything happened so fast. We never expected C'est La Vie to go to #1, and that was just shocking. And when that happened, we started to go to European countries so fast, and it's what we dreamt of for the band, and it's fantastic.
Even though Adele, Kiwi, Sinead and Lindsay all have very distinctive personalities, they were destined to become the best of friends.
I think the girls have 4 very individualistic characters.
I'm Adele. I'm Kiwi.
Kiwi and Adele, the sisters, are very much the strong characters in the band.
I'm Sinead.
Sinead tends to be almost the mother of the group. She tends to look after the girls. And Lindsay is actually quite quiet in ways.
And I'm Lindsay.
And I think that works very well together. The fact that you've got these personalities balanced by each other.
Working together, living together and being in a world-famous pop group together means the girls know each other pretty well. So how do they describe themselves?
Lindsay is really, really laid back, completely. She's very giddy. She's very giddy and she laughs at herself most of the time. And she's a great friend, very talented, and that's why she's in the band. And she's just lovely to have around.
Well, I was on stage one time and I wear this kind of hair grip in my hair sometimes.
Yeah.
And it came undone at the back, so I was dancing away and there was these 2 dangly
Two
bits.
ears.
It looked like Zig and Zag and nobody could really see it, but I thought they could, so I was so embarrassed.
Kiwi she's extremely funny, and she
Makes faces.
Yeah, she makes faces and she makes sounds.
She always does these little baby voices.
Yeah, you never know. Don't get the ball and cheat.
Whenever she tells a story, she always goes and makes all these different sounds. And she's a very good friend, and she gets shy.
It's all coy.
The other day we went to Germany and we were doing an interview there with a guy, and I'd never met him before, and I have 2 bracelets on and they got latched together. So I was sitting there and I was going, excuse me, I kind of handcuffed myself. And I was mortified. I was so embarrassed. I was like,
Sinead is very sophisticated and she's very shy actually. Huh?
I'm shy.
Yeah, she's quite shy sometimes, and she's very sensitive. Very sensitive. And she's a good friend.
She's beautiful.
And she's a great dancer. And she's very determined. Yeah.
Where you go in and you press the doorbell and you run away, and we were doing this, and I was going in and she was going in, and we were doing this for a long time, and then it was my turn and I went in and I pressed the bell and the shutters just opened really, really quickly and this man stood behind and he picked me up and he shook me, and I got such a fright that
Mr. Woodward, probably.
She weedied in her panties.
And I couldn't walk down the down. I had to walk down the down with my legs apart.
Adele is very focused. She's very ambitious. She's the leader, and when any of this time is a difficult situation, not that there are difficult situations, but she's always the one they say, Adele, will you say that? Or she's able to confront anybody, and you'll always know where you stand with her. And she's a very good listener, and she's a great friend, and she's extremely talented. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
When Jacinta from Diggs Lane Dance Studios found out that Adele, Kiwi, Sinead and Lindsay had formed a group, she wasn't surprised that they'd found each other.
I didn't think it was strange. The 4 of them got together and they just kind of gelled straight away and worked really well together. Because sometimes, and I've seen it happen, they'd form bands or they'd form groups and there'd be a bit of a bust up and one would go or 2 would go and then they'd be replaced. That never happened with them. They always got on extremely well together, and they all put kind of the equal amount in, and everyone's opinion was considered, and they just got on really, really well.
One thing's for sure, Considering the hectic pace of their lives and the success of the group, the girls still get on just as well as when they met.
There's a good balance and there's a good mix. You don't get like 4 girls squabbling for the microphone at the one time. They're very balanced in that respect. And hopefully it's the kind of relationship that will see the band endure, that will see them go on, and now that they have a solid base to work from.
The 4 best friends are constantly in each other's company, and when it comes to them being separated, they admit that they feel a bit lost without one another.
And also when we went home recently, I went back to Ireland and I live in the country, and I went home and we'd been together for 3 months.
We all had to go our separate ways, so it was
and
really
that night
weird.
at home I was in the bed going, this is
Hello,
weird.
where's he down? She's not in the bed beside me.
The success of Bewitched hasn't just come down to sharing a dream or writing #1 hit records. It's to do with the deep bond and the friendship that they have with each other. Adele and Keevy Lynch come from the Donemead estate in Dublin, which is still home to the Lynch family. They grew up in a household that loved music, with a grandfather who used to play the fiddle. From a very early age, the twins loved to sing and dance, and with big brother Shane in Boyzone and their older sister Tara in Fab, it seemed that the twins were destined for stardom.
It's probably from the parents and the grandparents. They're just a very, very talented family. There's another sister, Tara, and she has a group called Fab, and they're actually in the process of signing a big contract, a big recording contract as well. There's just one other sister in the family that has no interest in singing or dancing, and then there's the youngest girl, Naomi. She's very big into dancing. She's a good singer as well.
Not only was the family very talented, but they were also extremely supportive of the twins' ambitions.
They've come from good families with no airs and graces, you know. We all work to earn a living. There's certainly no gilded lilies in there. And I think that's the one thing, they're hard-working girls.
Both the girls worked at Stadium Sports in St Stephen's Street Shopping Centre in Dublin. Michael Lynch, who still runs the shop, remembers them as a pleasure to work with.
Yeah, well, I remember them well. Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, they were model employees. I mean, they turned up on time for work every day. I'd say they were very enthusiastic about their work, and I think without fail they were our top salespeople every week. The atmosphere in the shop, and I think obviously in many ways due to Adele and Keevy, was absolutely brilliant. I mean, we were playing loud music, there was a tremendous atmosphere, there was great energy in the shop. I mean, customers came in, everyone was very keen to look after them. And to be honest, I think, I mean, Adele and Keevy and the other people who were here were instrumental in getting the shop to where it is today.
Keevy, sharing older brother Shane's love of cars, worked part-time in her dad's garage, and both twins gave dance classes at Diggs Lane. According to Jacinta, their classes were always very popular.
But before they reached the success or even got the break, they worked hard. They had to keep themselves going financially, and even though they were so young, they were teaching dance classes, and there was a waiting list to get into their class. They were so good.
Well, I was a dance teacher just before I joined the group, like, and Keevy was a mechanic, believe it or not. They call me a bit of a tomboy, actually, because I do kickboxing as well, and I was a mechanic, so everybody says, "Oh, you're the tomboy, are you?" I don't really like to call that, but however, she's a cute tomboy.
Keevy and Adele have always been the best of friends, and they have never been apart for very long. At first, Michael Lynch of Stadium Sports was a bit worried about the twins working together.
And to be honest, at first I was a bit worried about, you know, having two sisters working together. But I mean, to be honest, they get on brilliantly together. And I mean, it's hard to believe that they were working here all day together, and then they were off obviously dancing in the evenings and practicing for their band together. And I would say the relationship was quite exceptional.
The twins' bond is very strong, and they are rarely apart. If one gets hurt or is upset, then the other twin will always feel it.
When we were younger, we used to feel each other's pain. Like, I was off school or you were off school, I can't remember. I was off school one day because I wasn't well, and Kiwi had been in school and she was out playing in the yard, like, and she had fallen and hurt her knee, and I was crying at home saying my knee was killing me, and then she was sent home with a hurt knee, like. And then when I was getting my stitches on my forehead, Kiwi cried for the whole half hour that I was in the operating theatre, like, saying that she had a big headache. And then as soon as I came out, she stopped crying and didn't even remember that she was crying about over a headache, like. But I think nowadays it's not so much physically, but mentally I can tell how Kiwi's feeling, and if there's something wrong with her, I feel that there's something wrong with her, like. Not all the time, but sometimes. Yeah. You alright? Keep going.
The twins, like Shane, are now international celebrities, and most of Ireland seems proud of their homegrown talent. Unfortunately for the twins, not everyone's reaction to them has been good. There seems to have been a little bit of jealousy.
There is some begrudgery at home, I have to say. It's quite sad sometimes. Like, I went home last time and I got a bit of stick outside my door. But you just have to kind of laugh it off and ignore it. Because there is going to be some people who don't like you. You can't please everybody.
And coming from such a close family, the twins could only do well.
My mum and dad always brought us up to go for our dreams and go for what we always wanted to do. And this was what 4 of us wanted to do, and we got to do it.
From the beginning, Bewitched opted for a tomboyish denim look, which have been sporting ever since. Their denim style, whether it's jeans, skirts or jackets, has captured everyone's imagination, becoming a firm favourite with their fans.
At the start, it was very like innocent, like girl next door, just wearing denim. They wanted to just dress like their fans, I think. They wore clothes that you could go out and buy in the shops.
Oh, looks-wise, it'll always be denim. Yeah.
Oh, I love the image they have. I love all the denim outfits and the hair pieces and the different coloured hair, and I think it suits them.
I think the style that Bewitched have is it's very refreshing. They certainly haven't gone for the Spice Girls angle of over-the-top glamour. You certainly can't see their underwear poking out under any of their denim. And the fact that they're wearing denim, it's hard wearing. They're out, they're rough and tumble. They're not high heels girls. You know, they're not the kind of girls you can imagine worrying about their makeup first thing in the morning, or if their nails look right, or wearing a really short skirt. They've the kind of image that can be adapted to suit any girl, and it's not expensive. The way boys don't have the Gucci image now, the girls have denim, like day-to-day denim, hard-working wear. They're not designer label kittens.
But then like it's gradually progressed into, I think they've gone for a more sexier image with their latest singles, wearing leather and very low-cut things. I'm not really sure if that suits them as well, because I've come to know them as like 4 like very bubbly, lovable sort of girls.
Although Bewitched's image seems to be getting more polished, the girls promise to keep it street and stick with good old classic denim.
I think as each song goes along, we always change our look slightly, don't we? Like, I don't think we'll ever like just change like that all of a sudden and, you know, go from denim to something else straight away. If we ever do that, it'll be gradually done, like.
Whenever Bewitched go home to Ireland, they are each guaranteed sackfuls of fan mail from all over the world. They also get sent lots of presents, which can be a little weird at times, as in the case of Sinead, who once received ½ a pound of butter.
I think in terms of the fan base that Bewitched have, it's quite young, because the girls themselves are very young. And oddly enough, although the girls may be like in their early 20s, the fans they attract will be much younger than that. You're talking about girls starting at 8 or 9, or even younger, maybe 6 or 7.
We love Bewitched because they're really down to earth.
Yeah, and we can like relate to them really easily because they're so young and
they're lovely people. They're really fun.
It's good to do the schools because the kids tend to think that pop stars aren't real and you don't do human things, so it's nice to get to meet the people that are going to support you and buy your things. So it's really nice to be really close to them.
They're really cool, and they like have like so many original ideas and clothing, and it's really funky and stuff. And plus they're like really down to earth and stuff.
Irish youngsters have taken Bewitched to their hearts, really, because they can identify with them. And I think that's the secret of success in this country. I think Irish kids love glamour as much as, you know, when they went after the Spice Girls, but these are 4 girls of their own. And they're 4 girls who look like they could be playing in next door neighbour's garden. And they're very normal, and yet they're living this wonderful life that children can see. Everybody wants to know them. They're at all the parties and they're making these wonderful videos and they look like they're having a ball, and it opens the dream up to everyone, and Irish fans have held on to that. They've cleaved to it to a certain extent because it makes it all the more tangible for them.
One of the group's most dedicated fans is Christina Sparshot, who's renowned for her fabulous Bewitched website. Since meeting the girls a couple of years ago, Christina has become a familiar face to them.
When I first met Bewitched, it was backstage at the Capital FM Extravaganza at Earls Court in London. We were actually there interviewing a band called Scandal for my college magazine. And we were sat on the floor, and then all of a sudden these 4 girls just walked in and they were being interviewed for Nickelodeon. And as soon as they finished being filmed and everything, they came over to us and they were talking to us, they were chatting, they signed autographs for us and everything, posed for pictures, and then they chatted a bit about what they'd been doing, and they were saying how scary it was releasing their single, because it was the week before they released their single, and they were really hoping that it got into the top 40, and they were being really hopeful about that. And then they went and saw all the other fans and everything, and it was a really good experience. I'm really glad we met them when we did. And then they were like, oh, were you going to come and see us at this gig and that gig? And they'd invite us down places and we'd go and see them, and gradually we've got to know them. They always seem to have time to talk to us, even if they're really busy. They'll at least stop and say hello. I mean, there are times when they won't acknowledge us at all, but that's when they're tired, and that's when their manager has said to them, no, we're in a rush, we've got to go. I don't think they like it when they have to do that, but it's just the way the business is. They'll always make sure we're okay. They'll always ask how we are and what we've been up to. If they've been away for a long time, we haven't seen them, they'll always make sure they tell us what they've been doing and things like that. They always seem quite pleased to see us. Whenever we meet them, it's always a great chance to take pictures. They're always very pleased to pose for pictures, unless they're having a really bad day, and then they'll be like, oh, please don't take pictures of us, sort of thing. This picture was taken, I think it was one of the first times they were at Top of the Pops. It's the day that I gave Adele her backpack, which she's actually got on in the picture. This picture was taken at Heathrow Airport. It was one of the days we actually spent all night at the airport waiting for them. And I look really tired in it. I really don't like that picture, but anyway. That's one of the first times we met them at Radio 1 in June last year it was. That's when they first started to get to know our names and everything. That was more recently at the airport around Christmas time, I think it was. They were just coming home from spending a weekend with their parents in Ireland. And that was at their album launch party outside. They were really disappointed that we didn't actually go into the party, so they spent a bit of time outside with us, talking to us and posing for pictures. I've lost count, basically, how many times I've met them, but I think it's way over 50 times that we've seen them now. We usually see them at TV studios and photo shoots and radio stations, things like that. Top of the Pops is one of the main places that we see them quite a lot, because they've been on there about 8 or 9 times, I think it is. At the start they used to do a lot of road shows, a lot of gigs in clubs and things like that, so we'd go down there, but basically nowadays it's just TV studios, because they don't do so much of the gigs and things now.
The story of Bewitched so far can only be described as a roller coaster of a ride, breathtakingly fast, propelling them from near obscurity to the very top of Pop's Super League in a matter of years. They've entered the Guinness Book of Records by being the first ever group to have had all their singles go straight to #1. Their fan base stretches from Ireland to Australia, and their record sales have topped the 1 million mark. All this, and they're barely out of their teens. For the Bewitched girls, it all started as a dream that has come true in more ways than they ever would have imagined. And the best thing is that their careers have only just begun.
We don't really want to look too far into the future, like 5, 10 years. We just want to live each day as it comes.
I know you were saying we don't look too far into the future, like 5, and I was like, See you later. Bye. Thanks a million. Bye.
you do